One Pride, what's going on? It's your boy, T. Back in it again with another episode of Talking with T. Let's get into it. Let's get after it, man. On this channel, we talk about Detroit sports and we chase down the best version of ourselves. If that interests you, do me a favor and hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow in the algorithm, and I really appreciate you for taking the time out of your day to rock with me, T. So let's dive right in the video. Today we're going over the Detroit Lions versus Minnesota Vikings Week 3 game plan / preview. So let's dive right into it. We all know who the Vikings key players are, but if you don't, I'm gonna read them off for you. They got a stud wide receiver, probably one of the best wide receivers, if not the best wide receiver in the NFL right now, in Justin Jefferson. One of the best running backs, and he's been struggling this year to get it going because they're not giving him the ball enough. Dalvin Cook. They got Adam Thielen, who just gets the job done. He's always catching. He's like a Cooper Kupp for the Minnesota Vikings. Not like anywhere close to Cooper Kupp's production-wise, but he's just reliable. He's got good hands, and that's the one you can't sleep on is Adam Thielen. On their defensive side of the ball, I'm not really scared of their defense, but there are 3 players we should keep an eye on. Danielle Hunter. Danielle Hunter's just a freak athlete. He's just built like a Greek god, and then he's just a good defensive end. That's someone you got to keep an eye on. And they took Darius Smith from Green Bay to Minnesota. He's always a beast. He was a beast in Green Bay. He was a beast wherever he was before that, and now he's on Minnesota. That's another guy we have to keep an eye on offense. Another guy you gotta keep an eye on for defensive wise or offensive wise is Eric Kendricks, one of the best linebackers in the league. He flies around the field, sideline to sideline. Every time we play the Minnesota Vikings, he's a problem for us. Eric Kendricks, number 54, one of my favorite linebackers to watch. It's hard to say that because he's on the Minnesota Vikings, but he is a beast linebacker, and that's somebody you have to keep an eye on for the Lions offense when they are trying to move the ball. A huge key to the Lions winning this game and going 2-1 in the division and staying on top of the division against the Minnesota Vikings is we have to keep Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook off the field. So time of possession is going to be key. How do we keep a good time of possession up there? Offense, we got to play mistake-free football like we did last week. No turnovers, no penalties, and we got to rush the ball. Run the ball, and open set up play action for Amon-Ra St. Brown, for DJ Shark, for TJ Hawkinson. That's going to be a huge key to this game. Time of possession is going to be a huge stat in this game, and not turning the ball over. Let's see what the Minnesota Vikings are giving up this year on the ground. The Minnesota Vikings so far are giving up 137 yards per game on the ground. That's huge, and this is probably the Vikings have a good front with Darius Smith and Danielle Hunter, but the Lions have played 2 really good fronts the last 2 weeks, and we've been down 3 offensive linemen last week. And this front, the Washington front 7 is a lot better than the Minnesota front 7. Just honestly, from a blind eye, from my no bias to it, I think Washington's defensive line front 7 is way better than the Minnesota Vikings front 7. So the Lions should be able to run the ball, and that's going to be a huge thing for Swift. He's getting healthier and healthier on his ankle, and it's going to be a huge thing for those end of rounds if we decide to run the end of rounds this year, and that's just going to lead to a huge time of possession stat. Run the ball, keep no fumbles, no turnovers, and if we just keep not Jamar Jefferson, he's on our team, he's on our practice squad, Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook, if we can keep them guys off the field, man, this is going to be that'd be huge for the Detroit Lions, and they have a huge opportunity to win that game. Defensively, how do we attack Minnesota, right? So Minnesota has been getting outgained in the air, outgained on the ground, and outgained overall by the opposing offenses. So their defense isn't as solid as it's been in years past, and their offense is only averaging 15 points a game. They only scored 7 or so against the Philadelphia Eagles the other night, and they only put up 21 or 22 against the Green Bay Packers the first week. So their offense, who knows, that first game against the Green Bay Packers, the Vikings are hard to read right now because they looked real good against the Packers, but it's always the Packers, right? The Packers lost week 1 against the New Orleans Saints last year. We thought the Saints were going to be really good, and the Saints struggled because they lost Jameis Winston. So who knows how the Packers are week 1? The Packers just who knows what's going on with the Packers week 1. They came back and won against the Chicago Bears, but that is Chicago. So who really knows how good Minnesota is, especially because they got blown out the other night. But defensively, if Aiden Hutchinson, Charles Harris, and Malcolm Rodriguez, all those guys in our front seven, Aleem McNeil, Michael Brockers, if we can get pressure on Kirk Cousins, rattle him a little bit, get in control of a rocking Minnesota field. Like, Minnesota is one of the loudest places to go play. I don't care what anybody says. They may be one of the loudest in our division. I don't know, last 2 weeks at Ford Field, it's been bumping. So the Lions, I think we got the home field advantage in our division, but the Vikings are damn near close because they're indoors. And it's always loud in Minnesota. So we can control the crowd noise, not giving up the explosive plays to Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook, like controlling the time of possession and rattling Kirk Cousins a little bit, because he's already rattled from Monday night, throwing 3 picks I think he had against the Philadelphia Eagles. That's bad. So if the Lions could rattle him a little bit, to have decent coverage, we might have to zone up a little bit on Justin Jefferson, because I don't know if we're good enough to play man. Jeff Okuda's been locking up, but I don't think he's had as big of a test as Justin Jefferson. And Amani Oruwariye, who knows if he's playing. And I don't want Will Harris checking Justin Jefferson. So let's run a little zone, but the Aaron Glenn's going to have a good game plan. He had a hell of a game plan last week for the 3 studs wide receivers that Washington had. So I'm trusting in the game plan that Aaron Glenn's going to present for the Minnesota Vikings, but we got to get after Kirk Cousins, and I think we have the advantage against their offensive line. I'm not really confident in the Minnesota Vikings offensive line. So time of possession, playing mistake-free football, keeping Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson off the field is going to be huge this week against the Minnesota Vikings. And if we can do that, the Lions will come out on top and be at first place in the division through three weeks and coming home to play a weak Seattle team. If they win this week, it'll be huge. But it's your boy T signing out. Like, comment, subscribe, do what you got to do to help the channel grow. I really appreciate you guys for watching all the way to the end of the video. It's your boy T signing out. One Pride signing out. Let's go get a dub this weekend.